This is a video on business document. It's one of the chapter in accounting year 10 for IGCSE. There are 6 main business documents for this level that they need to know. So the first one is invoice. Invoice is issued by the seller whenever he makes sales to the purchaser on a credit. Therefore, the invoice here is mainly to show the amount that the purchaser is owing to the seller. Next one is debit note. A debit note is a business document that is issued by the purchaser or the customers, as they realize that there are problems with the goods that they've received from the orders that they have made previously. So debit note here is to inform the seller of that issue, and this is how the debit note looks like. Credit note is when the seller acknowledge the returns that was made by the customers. Therefore, the seller, as they acknowledge the return made by the buyer, they will issue a credit note, and that credit note serves a purpose to reduce the amount of the invoice previously issued. This is how a credit note will look like. Statement of account is a summary of the transaction for the month between a seller and a buyer, and usually prepared by the seller to be given to the buyer. Therefore, you will see the whole transaction that was made by the buyer and a seller within a month. As you can see here, previously the weaving shed has issued an invoice of amount owing 408 by Sue and Sue, and later on April 9, credit note was issued in order to reduce the amount previously issued, therefore showing the latest amount outstanding that Sue and Sue is owing to the weaving shed. Check is a written order to a bank to pay a stated sum of money to the person or business named on the order. So usually it's being prepared by the buyer in order to pay the supplier, and it has 2 parts, which is the check counterfoil and the actual check here, which will then be given to the supplier, where else the check counterfoil kept for the buyer reference. Receipt is then issued by the supplier or the seller in order to acknowledge that the whole transaction between the seller and the buyer has completed, and it acts as a receipt as a proof of a payment that the purchaser has paid for the amount that he is due. That is all for chapter business document.